Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty everybody, welcome to Satoshi TV. It looks like we are live. Let me just do some DI. There we go, we are rocking and rolling. Welcome to Satoshi TV, aka Bitcoin is VTV, aka it's just Bitcoin, as we all know. So let's get into some gossip today. I've been missing this. So seeing quite a few interesting things today. Let's start off with this one from BSV International. We can find it. Here we go. So this was the one. So BSV Data had started this thread. They had said big blocks are always welcome, but as a data analytics platform, we doubt why the recent 1 gig to 2 gigabyte block didn't follow a natural growth of any regression models, such as linear, which are brought by users rather than were pushed in short periods. Here's what we simply found. So it said the biggest 2 gigabyte block is full of exactly the same image. Just click the block link and compare any text data, any transaction data text, code it, and it's a dog. Astonished, who would want to fill a transparent blockchain with chunks pretending to be real? Makes no sense. And I was just like, well, actually, it makes perfect sense because it's proof of concept. BSV International said here, it makes plenty of sense. Who would want to 51% a network without financial reason or gain and then have the network produce a gigabyte block straight after? It's called fundamentals for pumpermentals. That's what they've done it for. They have demonstrated on the mainnet what will happen if you try and attack it. So it's basically an open door to large corporations. This is why you can trust the chain, and this is what the chain can do. You better start building now, because if you don't, somebody else will. That's what it's all about. So this is a classic post from techies who don't really have a fundamental understanding of business and sort of like the use of the network. They're just like, what's the point in doing that? It's different mindset, but I thought this picture was great. So they've actually got the transaction text ID there, And this is the picture of the dog. Check it out. Check it out. 2 gigabytes. That must be one like seriously high definition photo. All the pixels in that. I think that's fascinating. It was great that they did a little bit of digging on it, and that's what they found. There we go. The world record 2 gigabyte block. I mean, what a great picture as well. I mean, whoever took that. I mean, look, it's got all the pet playthings in the background, lots of colours in the image, and then you've got this lovely golden. I suppose it looks like maybe like a Labrador there, but I thought that was great. I was really quite pleased to see that. Now we know. I mean, I didn't know what it was full of, but now we do. Picture of a dog. I think it's great. I think it's great. So news then. Oh, that's my OBS turning off. Sorry about that. Let me just check my task manager, see where the data is going. System interruptions. Yeah, dear, oh dear. Oh, and we're back on. Yeah, check this out. More stuff here. So we had an article on Yahoo Finances. Check it out. So Yahoo Finance is now reporting on this. Yahoo Finance's new world record 2 gigabyte block on BSV blockchain paves future for digital mining with transaction fees as majority of block rewards. Check it out. So this is what the Yahoo Finance page looks like. So I guess this is kind of like a, what do you want to call it, like a press release or something that they've just basically sort of copy and pasted onto Yahoo Finance. But you know, still rock and roll. Here we go, as they say on Yahoo Finances. Not exactly a small website, is it? So it's that's pretty good. So let's just remind ourselves what it says here. So Zug, Switzerland, 18th. So yeah, PR Newswire is where they've got it from. So Bitcoin Association. So that's where they got it from. The Swiss-based global industry organisation that works to advance businesses with Bitcoin SV, BSV blockchain, and digital currency today confirms a 2 gigabyte block was successfully mined on the BSV network, the largest block ever mined on a public blockchain. The new world record was set at block height 700606 on 16th of August 2021 at 3:20 UTC, containing 1.9999 gigabytes of data. Beyond its record-breaking size, the 2 gigabyte block is notable for earning the winning miner substantially more in transaction fees than the current 6.25 coin fixed subsidy amount of a Bitcoin block reward, and shows how Bitcoin mining will remain profitable in the future by transitioning to a transaction processing. The record-setting 2 gigabyte block caps several weeks of rapidly accelerating growth on the BSV network. Just 10 days earlier, on August 6th, the BSV blockchain set new landmarks at the time with the first live 1 gigabyte, 100 megabyte blocks. In comparison, the BTC network is limited to 1 megabyte blocks, which offers just a tiny fraction of data capacity in comparison. It's laughable. On BSV, the network capacity is not arbitrarily limited by protocol developers, but can instead scale unbounded to meet market forces. In your face. With user demand on BSV mainnet growing, miners representing the majority of current hash power on the BSV network, led by TAL, a public listed company on the Canadian Securities Exchange, signalled intent to raise their block size hard cap to 2 gigabytes by August 13th. Other unknown BSV miners followed TAL's lead. Soon after, on August 16th, at 2021, a 1.24 gigabyte block was mined on BSV, a record-setting size for a short time. That was the first ever mainnet block above 1 gigabyte in size, and the first ever with transaction fees of 6.33 coins, higher than the fixed subsidy amount of 6.25. For the block, for a total block reward of 12.58 BSV Bitcoin. Less than 2 hours later, at 3:20 UTC on the 16th of August, the new world record 2 gigabyte block was mined. It provided 10 coins in transaction fees and adding 106% more than the fixed subsidy amount of 6.25 Bitcoins, for a total block reward of 16.25 Bitcoins to the winning miner. Excellent. A day later, on 17th of August, the BSV network saw block number 700737 added with 1.7 gigabytes of data, providing 8.69 coins in transaction fees, 139% more than the fixed subsidy amount of 6.25 coins, for total block reward of 14.94 Bitcoin. With this shift to transaction fees capable of being the majority of a block's total reward, BSV has reached a landmark moment for the Bitcoin mining and transaction processing sector. Satoshi Nakamoto designed a system limited to a total supply of 21 million Bitcoin, with fresh coins distributed any fixed subsidy amount to the winning miner of every new block. The subsidy amount being at 50 coins and halves approximately every 4 years to 25 to 12.25 and now at 6.25. Coins and so forth until it becomes very small and eventually runs out. Miners also earn the fees from every transaction contained in a block, so Satoshi intended for transaction fee revenue to increase over time to compensate for the decreasing fixed subsidy amount. This is only possible by scaling Bitcoin, as Satoshi intended, with bigger blocks that hold more transactions and data, while maintaining low transaction fees to facilitate genuine use and utility. Absolutely, that's the clincher: genuine fees and utility. Fees to facilitate genuine use and utility. Loving that. The recent gigabyte-sized blocks on BSV are driven by increased user demand for bigger blockchain capacity. In particular, users of MetaID, a blockchain-based identity protocol built on BSV, and applications powered by its protocol, including Showbuzz. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Uploading many large-size image files to allow consumers to own and control their data without risk of losing access to their valuable data if they are deplatformed or a social media service shut down. This leverages the permanency, cost efficiency, interoperability, and personal control characteristics of the BSV blockchain. Absolutely. MetaID users are not alone in wanting a blockchain that can efficiently store and process more data. Many other BSV applications across a wide array of sectors, including esports, social media, digital advertising, AR, healthcare, data integrity, and IoT, Internet of Things, are demonstrating demand for bigger block capacity. The BSV network offers these capacities at extremely high throughput rates, demonstrating 50,000 transactions per second throughput earlier this year during a live test. It also offers extremely low cost. The median transaction fee on BSV network in 2020 was less than 1/50th of a US cent. Absolutely amazing. Reported by BitInfo Charts. Commenting on today's announcement, Bitcoin Association founding president Jimmy Nugent said, "After years of watching Bitcoin crippled on the BTC network, we are thrilled to see BSV finally take Satoshi Nakamoto's vision to the next level with the recent wave of gigabyte-sized blocks. The new world record 2 gigabyte block and its substantial portion of transaction fees demonstrate that the future lies in a blockchain that can meet users' demand for greater data capacity, and miners need to generate greater fee revenue. That future is BSV, which is supporting real utility and real value, just as Satoshi always intended." Also commenting, technical director of the Bitcoin SV infrastructure team, Steve Shadders, said, "On the BTC network, it took years for Bitcoin scaling battles to get nowhere and remain restricted at tiny 1 megabyte blocks that can handle at most 7 transactions per second. But on BSV Genuine Bitcoin, it took less than a week for miners to see value in opening the door to 2 gigabyte blocks. While this sounds big, we're really just getting started on our journey towards 1 terabyte, 1 million megabyte size blocks, so that BSV can process millions of payment and data transactions per second and support the global population along with our one world internet." Get in there. Get in there. What a statement. To learn more about the BSV blockchain and the array of businesses using its network, visit bsvblockchain.org. Past and future CoinGeek conferences, the leading global events educating about BSV blockchain technology, can be watched. The most recent was held in Zurich, the heartland of European banking world. Replays available. The next event is CoinGeek New York, Sheraton, New York, Times Square. Excellent. October 5th to 7th. Please join in person or virtually to discover how BSV blockchain's unbounded scaling can support business, consumer, and government users with low-fee data applications and micropayments. Excellent, excellent. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I love Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. Great stuff. Right, let's get into some CoinGeek articles then. Rock and roll, here we go. Let's first have a look at business. Yeah, let's see this. NFT craze.com bubble 2.0. Alright, let's see what this one says. Here we go. Joshua Hensley. So in 2021, in addition to yet another cryptocurrency bull market, NFTs have become the hot subject. The fad seemed to peak when artist Bleeple sold a JPEG file as an NFT for $69 million. Yet the craze still continues months later, with art continuing to sell for millions in August 2021, netting absurd returns. NFTs have simply become a buzzword where the meaning of the phrase is irrelevant, but labeling products with it will surely make its price appreciate. Yeah, it's crazy. Nobody has a clue really what's going on. Oh, bought an NFT, did you? Well done. So this Francis Mouton said, I thought Philips had done a complete auction of digital work already in 2014. Or is Philips a major auction house? They're just making money from auction fees. Good grief. What's this going once, going twice? Philips and Tumblr put GIFs on auction. What does a high-profile GIF auction say about our emerging relationship with new media? Good grief. And somebody else has said here, I think the difference is that it's an NFT. Christie's is releasing an NFT, not just digital art. It's digital art as an NFT. Oh, people have no idea, do they? Absolutely crazy. Non-fungible tokens are supposed to be unique digital assets whose supply is verifiable. Well, it's just like art. Every bit of art is unique unless it's copied, obviously. Where the issuer and the purchaser have attestations, rights, and controls over what can be done with said asset. This is what these art NFTs enable, right? Well, question mark, yeah, wrong. If one cannot control access to an asset or enforce rules related to ownership, then nothing is truly owned. And the immediate criticism is that these files are being hosted not only on the immutable ledgers the sales are recorded on, but instead on third-party servers, IPFs or torrents. This criticism of where the file is located is tangible to the actual issue, being that the purchaser does not actually have rights or ownership over of anything. Yeah, if you've got an NFT on a server, it's the server that owns that NFT because that's where the data is. It's crazy. The issuer does not gain anything in the process either, except profiting off the speculative bubble and greater fools, of course. While the issuer can verify who is the owner of the NFT on a blockchain, they cannot dictate what is actually done with the asset. For example, any other person could copy the file from where it is posted, Twitter, news sites, IFPs, and public ledgers, etc., and print it, copy it, display it in their house, and use however they want. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the above tweet is true, but as a speculative bubble requires participation of many greater fools, logic and facts do not matter. Those in BSV's response to the NFT craze was not to fix these problems, but repeat the same thing. Oh, scathing. But somehow improve the concept by storing the files on an immutable public ledger where anyone can access them. Is he criticising art on chain here? Who knows? Below are the transactions for the counterfeit Pew Pew. If you've bought this, you've been scammed. You've been scammed anyway. Oh dear. We have a digital GIF art where someone simply downloaded the GIF from the blockchain, reminted and sold it. Oh no way! Scamming for over 1 BSV. Oh, scams already on BSV. You know, why are people producing these shit tokens anyway? You know, well, we know it's going to come anyway, but it's just disappointing to see it this early on, really. Good grief. People don't read or care about fundamentals if they can make free tendies. To be clear, I think artists being able to raise funds from their fans by selling digital art is a totally valid means of gaining support from their fans. However, to issue the art in such a naive way with no controls over rights of the art and expect no scamming to occur is naive itself. Now finally, how does NFT boom related to the .com one? The bubble that formed over the next 5 years was fed by cheap money, easy capital, market overconfidence, and pure speculation. Venture capitalists anxious to find the next big score freely invested in a company with a .com. After its name, valuations were based on earnings and profits that would not occur for several years if the business model actually worked, and investors were all too willing to overlook traditional fundamentals. The above blurb sums up what is transpiring now. If product has NFT in it, buy. Because it's going to the moon. Why? Because it's an NFT. The easy capital market overconfidence and speculation derive from digital currency boom itself is investors grow bored with daily 20% gains and crave for 1 million % ones instead. Fundamentals are nowhere to be found because they do not matter. Well, again, it's fiat currency that's created this kind of culture in the society that we live in. It's short term because money has no value. People don't appreciate what they buy. It's like a throwaway society. Whereas if you're buying something with a medium of exchange that actually has value to it, and that medium of exchange is going up, you're going to be less likely to part with it and make better decisions, and therefore actually appreciate what you buy. That pretty much sums it up there. The venture capitalists who backed these companies were aiming for supernova IPOs because that's when they got paid. Any IPO meant an exit for venture investors. Those incredible first day pops that .com stock experienced when IPOing. That was the early money cashing out, selling their shares to the investing public. Yeah, it's like Coinbase all over again. The .com bubble was a fantasy period when a lot of VCs actually didn't care if a business turned a profit because it didn't need to. We're in an environment where the company doesn't have to be successful for us to make money. A venture capitalist at Benchmark admitted when mulling over a pre-IPO investment in Priceline. Again, it's just scams. Due to the fault of fiat currency, really. I understand .com bubble may be more in sync and scope with the greater cryptocurrency boom, but that is another topic. I mean, everybody's looking for like the next Bitcoin. Yeah, they don't understand that it's BSV. Yeah, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Ignorance. How long can this continue? I don't know, but I do know this NFT nonsense has to stop at some point and develop fundamental value. Well, things are. I mean, here's a guy that created Shure token that he sold. Just as an IPO of everything and your mama.com would have pumped in early 2000, but would now be absurd today. Selling a PNG as an NFT will eventually look like a rhyme in history. Yep. History constantly repeats itself. As they say, those who don't know history are destined to repeat it. But yeah, good article, that one. Nice one. Alright, let's see what else there was in tech. I know that something caught my eye, so we're going to have a look at it. Here we go, 8 hours ago. Check it out. Quite like these tech articles. Patrick Thompson, the main man. Here we go. Lifting the VSV hardcap setting. Here's what you need to know. Have you raised your Bitcoin SV node software hardcap to 2 gigabytes? If you did, then your nodes most likely broadcast the blocks over 1 gigabyte in size that continue being created and mined on the BSV Enterprise blockchain. And then Matthew Zytek said, over roughly the past hour, BSV has added over 3 gigabytes to the chain from paying transactions. Miners have earned over 16 BSV from transaction fees at a rate of roughly 4.25 BSV in subsidy to fees, or 19% of the total reward being comprised of fees at a rate of 500 sats per kilobyte. Bitcoin Association has advised mining operators to raise the block size. Let's just check and see if we haven't read this already. Hard cap to 2 gigabytes, while non-mining nodes, exchanges, applications, and others have been advised to raise their limit to 10 gigabytes. It took BSV miners less than a week to come to the consensus and raise the block size hard cap to 2 gigabytes, a feat that other blockchain networks are constantly trying to figure out how to coordinate. No blockchain besides BSV blockchain has found a way to successfully scale. Why should I run the up-to-date version of a node software? When some nodes are not running the most up-to-date software available, nodes accidentally create 2 different versions of the same blockchain ledger. The nodes that did not update will sometimes orphan the blocks created by nodes running the most up-to-date node software, because the 2 different node operators are essentially following different sets of limit rules that determine how blocks are created and broadcast. It's important for node operators to run the most up-to-date version of node software because when all nodes are on the same page, it allows network participants to flawlessly recognize, create, and broadcast the most accurate version of the blockchain ledger. Big blocks, big rewards, bigger transaction fees. Due to the increased hard cap, bigger blocks can be created on the BSV network. On August 16th, a world record size 2 GB block was mined on BSV Enterprise blockchain. The 2 GB hard cap made it possible for this block to be created and broadcast. The 2 GB block contained $1,696.64 in transaction fees, roughly 10 BSVs worth of transaction fees at the time the block was mined. This was the second instance in which the transaction fee attached to a block on the BSV network exceeded the block reward. As time goes on, the transaction fees attached to the block will become increasingly important as the block reward continues to halve after every 210,000 blocks. Miners and transaction processors will rely on the transaction fees attached to the block rather than the block reward to keep them profitable. This is one of the many reasons why the blockchain needs to be able to operate at scale. If a blockchain can operate at scale, enterprise and governments can use the blockchain for their daily operations, creating real commerce and utility on-chain. As a result, there should always be a sufficient amount of fees in each block. On blockchains that lack utility and are primarily used for speculation, miners and transaction processors are likely to be significantly affected with each block reward decrease. These miners will be earning less from block rewards, and since the chain's underlying coin or token does not have utility, the revenue generated via transaction fees attached to blocks will place the miner's profit in jeopardy. Road to success. The hard cap increases a significant achievement that paves the way for more enterprise solutions and government use to take place on a BSV blockchain. The more data that can fit into a block and be settled nearly instantaneously at cost that are a fraction of a penny, the better. Now it is up to the business, governments and consumers that are using the BSV blockchain to harness this newfound scalability that no other blockchain currently has. Yes, indeed. Look at that watch Terranode live demo showing 50,000 transactions per second on the BSV blockchain. Absolutely beautiful. Loving that. Loving that. Right, let's get into our favourite shitcoin magazine. Look at all this price crap. It's all price. What's this? Facebook's David Marcus calls for a fair shot at crypto payments. Not interested really. Bitcoin mining metro that's predicted every big BTC rally. Yeah, whatever. Binance in trouble again. Dutch central bank claims Binance is operating illegally. Binance won't exist after the 29th of October this year. Nobody seems to know this. I mean, they're literally just doing a massive rug pull. Billions. It's shocking. So the warning follows authorities in several countries issuing statements warning investors to exercise caution in regards to Binance. I mean, they're trying to tell people, look, get out, don't use it. They probably know a massive rug pull is coming. It's just like, well, you should have got out. Or claiming the exchange was operating illegally. De Nederlands Bank, the central bank of the Netherlands, issued a warning to Binance Holdings Limited and its entities offering crypto services to local residents. In a Wednesday statement, De Nederlands Bank said the major crypto exchange was not operating in compliance with the country's Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorist Financing Act, alleging Binance customers were at risk of becoming involved in money laundering or terrorist financing. According to the central bank, Binance is illegally offering crypto services as well as custodian wallets without the required legal registration. The Dutch central bank specified that its notice was to the crypto's exchange parent company Binance Holdings, as well as entities under the Binance under which Binance provides crypto services in the Netherlands. This would seemingly apply to the global crypto exchange as well. In a statement to Cointelegraph, a Binance spokesperson said the crypto exchange is in the process of submitting an application for the required registration, even though they're about to be struck off and they won't exist as a company in the Cayman Islands anymore. Oh dear. And we'll be working constructively with the central bank to meet its requirements. It all just sounds like a bluff if you ask me. It is key to Binance that our users' interests continue to be protected, said the spokesperson. Yeah, whatever. Although we are not formally registered with a Netherlands bank, yet we have a robust compliance program, yeah, all right, that incorporates tools and procedures to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. Yeah, whatever. The warning comes following financial watchdogs in different countries saying Binance Holdings Limited is not authorized to provide certain services to their residents. Authorities in Italy, Malaysia, Poland, Germany and the United Kingdom, the Cayman Islands, Thailand, Canada, Japan and Singapore have issued statements warning investors to exercise caution in regards to Binance, all claiming the exchange was operating illegally. In an August 17 Bloomberg interview, Binance CEO CZ said most of his attention was focused on ensuring the exchange was in compliance with local regulators in its move to be a financial institution rather than the day-to-day operations of the exchange. Zhao has previously hinted he would be willing to accept a senior person with a strong compliance background to eventually replace him as CEO. We're going through a pivot from a technology innovator into a financial services company, so we need to be fully compliant, said Zhao. I believe right now all the regulators around the world view crypto as a financial instrument, he added. We need to apply for a license and very important for us to communicate with the regulators, request for regular meetings, where proactively update them on what we do. I am skeptical, we'll see what happens after 29th of October, but people are still trading on Binance. Absolute nutters. But that's why we say shitcoiners, shit for brains. Absolutely crazy when you think about it. Absolutely insane. Let's see what else there is here. Crypto.com uses Circle API to launch USD bank transfers over 60 countries. I mean, massive shitcoining is literally all it is. Former US Treasury official joined Binance to lead AML efforts. Good luck with that, mate. Good grief. Vitalik thinks token-based decentralization governance is holding DeFi back. Whatever. Bitcoin will remind everyone who the king is, says trader as BTC dips to 44. Oh, who cares? Who cares, honestly? Let's see if we can find out who this Treasury official is then. So former IRS supervisory Greg Monahan replaces Karen Leong as a global money laundering reporting officer at Binance. So former US States Treasury criminal investigator Greg Monahan joined major cryptocurrency exchange Binance to oversee the company's international anti-money laundering efforts, the exchange announced on Wednesday. It's another blag. Another blag. He won't last long. As soon as he figures out what's going on and sees what's going on behind the scenes, he'll be off skis just like everybody else in a flash. Time for a sharp exit. Dear oh dear. Let's have a look at this on Decrypt. Twitter Jack Dorsey is now mining Bitcoin. Here's how. Who cares? Look at this. Bitcoin Mixer CEO pleads guilty to dark web money laundering. Let's see what else they got on here. That sounds quite a good one. So a guilty plea from Helix CEO underscores how law enforcement regards Bitcoin mixers as inherently criminal. So in brief, the defendant Larry Harmon had planned to argue his Helix Bitcoin mixer was a privacy service. Harmon pled guilty to conspiracy to launder money on sites like Alpha Bay. Our hire man, Larry Harmon, spent years running a Bitcoin Mixer, a service that scrambles the origins of crypto transactions in a way that makes them hard for law enforcement to trace, which led to his arrest in 2017 on charges that included conspiracy to commit money laundering. After fighting the case for years, Harmon pled guilty to the money laundering charges on Wednesday morning in federal court in Washington, D.C. The plea came on the cusp of a trial, which Harmon was prepared to argue that his mixing service, known as Helix, was not a money laundering tool, but rather a means to increase privacy and facilitate the use of Bitcoin. Oh dear, what a fool. What a fool. Again, I mean, these shitcoiners, and these libertarians, they are so lost in their thinking. It all defies all logic. His decision, and again, they're confusing privacy with anonymity. Massive fail. His decision to plead guilty suggests his privacy argument was likely to fail in the face of the government evidence that Helix's primary service primarily served dark sites like the now shuttered Alpha Bay, which served as a marketplace to buy illicit drugs and a host of other illegal services. During his time working with Alpha Bay, Helix laundered roughly 354,468 Bitcoin, around $300 million at the time. But that would at present amount to billions of dollars. Oh my god. The sole purpose of Harmon's operation was to conceal criminal transactions from law enforcement on the darknet, and because of our growing expertise in this area, he could not make good on that promise, said Don Fort, chief IRS criminal investigator, said following Harmon's arrest. Harmon's decision to plead guilty underscores how law enforcement has come to regard crypto mixers, also known as tumblers, as inherently criminal, even if some people use them for legitimate purposes. The Justice Department has yet to reveal details of Harmon's plea argument, including whether the amount of prison term he will serve. In such agreements, defendants often agree to share details of criminal operations with law enforcement in order to reduce the length of their sentence. According to court records, Harmon is only pleading guilty to the count of conspiracy to commit laundering. Under the deal, the Justice Department appears to have dropped the other charges, which are related to operating an unlicensed money transmitter. In addition to the criminal charges, Harmon has also been subjected to a $60 million civil penalty from FinCEN, the Treasury Department agency charged with policing money laundering. Lesson learnt. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends how much money he's made, isn't it? Really, could be a slap on the wrist, but you know, sounds like he's probably going to jail. If you ask me, I would have thought. You know, it's dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just there's no such thing as a clever criminal, folks. So check this out. Major Dutch football club PSV hodls Bitcoin sponsorship to be paid entirely in BTC. Ooh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Let's see who's stupid enough to pay that. Let's see. There we go. Major Dutch football club PSV has signed a partnership deal with a crypto exchange, and its sponsorship will be paid entirely in core coin. PSV is the first club in the EU to receive sponsorship amount in crypto, said the football club. Who from? So PSV Professional Football Club will hodl Bitcoin. Major Dutch football club PSV Eindhoven, also known as PSV Eindhoven, announced Tuesday that it will hodl Bitcoin with the help of crypto exchange Anycoin Direct. The professional sports club from Eindhoven, Netherlands, plays the Eredivisie. Don't know how you pronounce that. I'm probably butchering that. The top tier in Dutch football. PSV has signed a unique partnership with Anycoin Direct. The announcement details adding, the entire sponsorship amount will be paid in core coin. PSV is the first club in the EU to receive the sponsorship amount in crypto. I mean, we're seeing all this progress, but we know what's going to happen. They're going to get paid in core coin data, and that data is just going to literally go to zero. Good luck with that. The club worked with crypto technology for the first time earlier this year to sell a non-fungible token. Oh dear, of its 1988 European Cup 1 final victory against Benfica. Anycoin Direct, a local startup from the Eindhoven area, will be PSV's official partner for the next 2 seasons. They won't be around for that long. Oh dear. The club confirmed, elaborating, the main goal is to grow awareness of crypto. Anycoin Direct in Europe. Anycoin Direct offers the buying and selling of 28 cryptocurrencies. Oh dear. Franz Janssen, commercial director of PSV, commented, the possibilities and the future that the world of cryptocurrency offers is very, very promising. As a club in the heart of Brainport region, we are always innovating cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency fits well into this picture. PSV's announcement as that immediately after signing the deal with Anycoin Direct, Janssen created a Bitcoin wallet to facilitate the partnership deal. Oh dear. Oh dear. We know what's coming. No one else does. That's crazy. Anyway, we shall leave it there. Oh, I haven't got my phone with me for dinging of the dong. Oh, I've left it downstairs. Never mind. Right, I quite enjoyed this show today. Shout out to people in the chat box. I had to reset the chat box earlier, so I can only see Arcade Rob and Keith Fellows in there. I think I might have seen Diddy Weldon and Savtoshi in there as well. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe in there. Joy given. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.